I'm the wandering fantasy author Jay Reckward, and you know me as an author of epic fantasy, sword and sorcery, and urban fantasy. And I'm also the host of Pondering the Orb and Where No Bubs Has Gone Before. But today I'm here to talk to you as the guy behind the scenes. As many of you are probably able to tell, Pondering the Orb has entered a hiatus period. A few reasons came about to why that is, and I'll get into them. First, YouTube is going through a real change right now where original content, video, and audio is given better attention within the algorithms that determine who is shown easily in searches. There's also an obvious strength to having shorts, but that's neither here nor there to this conversation. The first two seasons of Pondering the Orb were great, and so were the first 3 quarters of the third season. I organically grew the audience, the subscribers, and more importantly, I learned and am still learning to produce great content that promotes and shows how wonderful fantasy fiction, melodic death metal, and synthwave are as elements of human expression. Short and to the point, without widespread label and band support taking the effort to whitelist me despite their permissions to play their music, I cannot present a wide array of music without getting copyright notices. Please note that while these notices are not strikes, and I have never received now or in the past any indication that I used music or content outside the bounds of fair use, they're clearly upsetting the show's discoverability on YouTube. The tough challenge is now deciding whether or not to keep music or abandon it altogether. And I really don't want to abandon it at all. There are a lot of different things that can be done, but they're all pretty dramatic in terms of what would have to happen. Pondering the Orb, when it comes back, will probably be a very different show in this aspect, and required a whole new ethos and design behind it. It's not just fixing the foundation we're talking about. We have to completely burn down the building and salvage it for something else. Third reason is the simplest. Life has taken me in a different direction. A new episode every other week is not impossible, but creating that kind of content is hard when you're struggling to grow something against the algorithm while also balancing my publishing career, my great marriage, and more importantly, helping my son through his first year of proper school. He just entered kindergarten, and he has some of the same challenges I did. I need to be the father I can be so I can focus on making sure his learning experience is way better than mine because I despise school and I don't want that for him. Added to this as well is that several family members are also facing health issues, and I have a feeling that I need to be around for them more than ever. There's also an opportunity for something I hope that will turn me from a wandering fantasy author into just a plain old fantasy author. But again, that will be talked about later if it comes to be. But I must remind everyone hearing and watching this is a hiatus for Pondering the Orb, not the end. Not for me, and not for some of the really cool things I'm going to be debuting here on the channel soon, which will be going through a rebranding. But in the place of Pondering the Orb until it returns will be more seasons of Where No Bubs Has Gone Before, followed by an interview show that has some real discussions behind it getting up and going, new Star Trek content, and also some ideas I'm really excited about, like a Dungeon Meshi aka Delicious and Dungeon show that I'm kind of really in the middle of developing pretty hard. However, first and foremost, I'm fully moving into audiobooks and audio plays here on YouTube. With the changes and challenges that Audible is now presenting to the audiobook market and the cost of going into a studio, one of the big successes of Pondering the Orb was forcing me to learn and gain the ability and the knowledge, and also find the confidence to craft my own audiobooks. The first story will debut sometime this fall with a complete audio presentation of Pear Tree, a transcendental fantasy I read during Pondering the Orb's first season that will hopefully have some pretty cool things featured with the audio play and the corresponding ebook that will debut alongside it. After that, there will be a new Elven Sword and Sorcery series I've been working on for a bit, followed by a full-length audiobook of my next novel, The Panther Stalks. Hopefully I'll have something to tell you about that soon, but the work never ends, nor should it. But by the time all this is said and done, I should have a notion about where Pondering the Orb goes next. But until then, thank you to everyone that enjoyed the show, participated as a guest, and I want to thank every author whose book I featured, be they alive or dead, every band I got to play music from, and a whole scene of synthwave artists who were so open and kind and wonderful that something just for them will be around the corner soon, I promise. More importantly, thank you to my wife Margot, my son Ben, and my cat Mona. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And as always, forever and ever, until the world turns to brightness again, safe journeys, my friends. I'll see you out there soon.